Hey everybody, Paul here with the Spirits channel. It's been a while since I've been posting. There's been a lot going on over the last several months that needed attention and a lot of distractions. I've been wanting to get back to doing my sessions and my spirituality, but it's been a little bit difficult. But I want to start posting again. Things are calming down. And I apologize. I wanted to come on camera um, and do this intro, but I misplaced my tripod, so I figured I would come out and do the intro in the old faithful backyard like I usually do. And when there's a tripod issue, but anyway, what I want to share with you guys in this video is that I've been doing sessions with my personal spirit guides. And what I've been getting has been very interesting, and it's a lot of personal stuff that I'm not going to share on here, but there is one recent session that I want to share here. It's not a pretty video to look at. It's the screen recorder, with an app pulled up and me asking questions and the sound bar going up and down, or the volume bar going up and down, to give space for spirit to answer during the session. So it's not a pretty video, but it was never really intended at first to be shared. But I thought I would share it because I think maybe there's some people out there that maybe they'll come across this video and it will be helpful to them, and maybe to some of you listening. And that's why I'm sharing, because the idea here is that, and some of you probably heard me talk about this in past videos, where I talked about my experience when I was a little kid. I always had this feeling that someone was watching over me and protecting me. And maybe it was someone who wanted to take me home, the home that wasn't this world, somewhere else that I came from. And I always had that feeling. I remember being a baby in the crib feeling like I wanted to go home. And I didn't understand that. I grew up with that feeling. I remember being 2, 3, 4, 5, having these feelings like I wanted to go home, like this world wasn't my home. It was from somewhere else that I longed to go back to. And there was somebody that I missed so incredibly much from that place, but I never knew who or what or where. And, since then, I've talked to a lot of other people, or heard a lot of other people say they've had same or similar experience. So if you're out there and you come across this video, this one is for you. This is for those of us who never really felt at home in this world, and maybe we don't resonate with people on those mundane, just everyday affairs. Maybe our thoughts are a little deeper, a little more metaphysical, and people just don't seem to get us, and sometimes they don't treat us very well either. And, I spent a lot of years in my life looking for that, what they called the soulmate connection, looking for that little piece of home, that someone that maybe would be on the same wavelength, the same frequency as I am. Not that I'm better than anybody else. I never thought that. But somebody that was just on my frequency that I could really, really relate to and be vulnerable to, and just open my heart and my soul and feel that little piece of home in this world, my other home, my spiritual home, as I've come to call it. And I've looked for that in other people, and, always the pretenders and the players and the users and the people that, abuse that after pretending that they are on the same frequency. People are kind of brutal that way. And I sometimes get this homesickness and feel like just, oh man, I want to go home. And I had a little bit of that last fall and some of it through the winter. It's been an interesting winter since February. Like I said, a lot going on. And I finally sat down and did a session with my angels and guides. And I always had this idea that, as many of you know, I had, an angel experience when I was 12 years old. And I had it in various times in my life, 2003 being the last time. But I always feel her presence around me. And during those angel experiences, that's when I really felt like my soul was satisfied, that soul yearning to have that piece of home, to be with that person or that being that's on my frequency. Only during those angel experiences did I feel that. And I sometimes wondered, are angels or guardian angels, are some of them high spirits, celestial beings that watch over us? Are some of them something else that maybe we knew before we came into this world? And is it possible that some of us that are looking for our soulmates, our soul connection, we're not really going to find it in this world? It's so broken. But maybe we find it when we cross over to the other side. Maybe someone there is waiting. And I sometimes thought, was that this angelic being, Sarah, that I saw various times over the years. But due to religious training, I was always afraid to think that or to ask. And I finally did during this session I did a couple days ago. And wow, it was a really interesting session, and it brought me a lot of peace and a lot of understanding. I don't think I've ever been so at peace with being in this world I don't quite fit in with. I don't think I've ever felt more at peace knowing that I do have a soul connection with someone somewhere, even if they're not in this material world, but one day, I will see this being, this person again, and everything will kind of click, everything I've ever wanted and craved and that my soul yearned for in this life. I'm finally having it again, and when I return to my real home. So this was a really interesting session. And like I said, I know there's people out there that struggle with this like I do. And if you come across this particular video, maybe there's something here that can help you. Maybe sit down and do your own session, or do some pendulum work or meditation, focusing on your guides and your angels and the spirits that are around you. And if you never felt like you found your soulmate and your soul connection in this world, in this life, well, maybe it really is waiting for us in the next. And we just got to do what we got to do here. And, one day we're going home. And it's going to be a really beautiful homecoming, I think, for some of us. So I'm going to be quiet now. I wanted to make this intro a lot shorter. But I guess you can't rush this kind of conversation. But for those of you who are interested, those of you that have kind of gone through this as I have, I hope this brings some clarity, some comfort, and maybe inspire you to take your own journey and ask your own questions, and maybe bring yourself a little bit of peace and understanding that makes this crazy ass world we currently live in a little more bearable. So here's the session. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Answers too. So let me begin by asking Sarah, are you near to me tonight? Can you hear me? Can you let me know that you're there? Sarah, I wanted to ask you tonight about something else you're very familiar with in my life. And I want to begin by asking about this feeling I get sometimes, that feeling that I want to go home, that home that is not of this earth, not in this world. Could you please tell me a little bit about that home? Could you tell me anything about it at all? Where it is, what it looks like? Is it heaven? Could you tell me where this home is? I seem to remember since I was a very little child this home. And I know it's not part of our religious systems here in this world, but I need to ask this. Do souls exist in what we call heaven, or maybe a place near to what we call heaven, before we incarnate on this earth? Is that where I'm from? Is that what I remember? When I was a very small child, I had this feeling that there was someone from this other home that was with me there and that I missed very much since I came here into this world. I've always been curious to ask, but Sarah, were you that person? Were you the one I remembered and missed even when I was a little baby in the crib? Was it you that I remembered? I also remember feeling a presence in my room when I was very, very young. And it felt like a female presence that was always watching over me. And sometimes I felt like she wanted to take me back home. Sarah, was that you? Was that you in my room when I was just a baby and a little kid? And now the major questions. I mean, they're all pretty major questions, but the first big question I want to ask, this soul yearning that I've had all my life, always wanting to find someone or something that would bring that feeling of home, my other home, my real home, trying to find some semblance of that in this world and even in another person, but always failing to do so, or maybe them failing me. I could never really find it. It's always been the liars and the pretenders and the people that just want to trick and fool someone. So that soul connection, that soulmate connection, will I ever really find that in this world? And the question I've always wanted to ask but never did due to religious programming, religious apprehension, religious trauma, religious fear, all that good stuff. But the question I've always wanted to ask for a number of years, Sarah, are you my true soulmate waiting for me on the other side when I finally leave this world? Is it you I've been seeking all this time? And you've always been right there, but yet what seems to be so far away? Sarah, are you my true soulmate? So one day, when I leave this world and I step into whatever comes next, will you, Sarah, my soulmate, be waiting there? And will we go home? And that's where my soul will finally find and return to everything it's ever yearned for in this world. Is that when I'll find it? And will you be the one I find it with when I leave this earth? And last question, Sarah, if you are my soulmate, if you answered in the affirmative to any of these questions, could you tell me, please, is it possible to feel more of your presence in this life, in this world? I know if I were to have it too much, too strongly, I'd be too focused on that and just always want to go home. And I know that's not what you want. I have a life here to live for a reason with the people who are in my life. But is there a way I could feel more of your presence in this world just to make things a little bit more bearable sometimes when I'm feeling homesick? Is that possible? That I could feel your presence more? Well, I thank you, Sarah, and also my other angels and spirit guides for coming through in this session. If you left any words, comments, answers to any of these questions, much gratitude in advance. Uh, greatly appreciated. So thank you all very much. As I ask you now to just step back from my energy. And again, I look forward to translating this and seeing if you answered any of these questions, because it would be more than helpful on my journey through this earth. So thank you all very much, and I will speak to you again soon.